Hello and Merry Christmas from Daisy and Claire. We just wanted to hop on before the episode to thank you for listening and wish you a wonderful end of 2021. We're really sorry that we've been away for a little bit longer than we expected, but we are back with some new episodes starting right here. We've left behind to fill any religious or Nicolas Cage cravings you might have this festive season.
We also want to apologise for any dips in the audio commentary of this episode. We do address it at the top of the episode. I had just a few microphone issues, so I'm not as crisp as I would like, but hopefully you will still enjoy. This episode was also actually originally recorded in April, and at the time Pig had not been released, so when we get to our top 3 films, please understand I didn't know the joy that was Pig. When we were doing them, my top 3 list would have been incredibly different. I've also now watched Con Air and everyone was right. It's fab. So we'll see you in 2022 with more of the worst Hollywood has to offer, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to W Rated, the podcast where we willingly watch the world's worst rated movies. Today's episode, we'll be looking at our 8th film on IMDb's Bottom 100. For those who don't know, my name is Daisy, and as always, I'm joined by podcast co-creator and co-host Claire. What is happening, Claire? How are you doing?
We've been trying to start this episode for 40 minutes. My laptop broke, your internet broke. The whole recording platform broke.
We broke.
My microphone is now broke, so I'm on some very classy, old school Apple headphones. Let's see what this sounds like. I look forward to the edit.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a... I just get a vibe that something doesn't want us to talk about this today, this film. And I guess as we sort of start talking about the theme of the film, maybe there's a bit of conspiracy here, but we'll jump into that shortly. We have the pleasure of having another special guest on the podcast today. Very excited to introduce the founder of pop culture site Cinematique and rollerblading legend, Kira. Hello, Kira. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Well, as we just said, we've had a bit of a rigmarole that you've been here for.
Yeah, it seems a bit ignorant now asking the question, doesn't it?
Yeah. How are you? Well, you've seen me break down over the last 40 minutes. Yeah. Hopefully it's pretty smooth. I was going to say smooth sailing, but we're going to say smooth flying, considering the film that we're doing today. So, Kira, as a bit of a tradition, what we do on the podcast with our guests, as the guest has chosen the film that they want to talk about, would you like to do the honours of telling the listeners today what the film is that we're talking about and why you chose it for the podcast today?
Well, the film we're going to be talking about today is Left Behind, and the reason I picked it is because Nic Cage in it.
We don't need any more explanation than that, really, do you?
Exactly. It tells you all you need to know.
Precisely. So, as Kira mentioned, the film we're talking about today is Left Behind. Left Behind as it has a 3.1 star rating out of 10 on IMDb, making it number 34 on the ranking of Bottom 100. For those who don't know, it came out in 2014. It's an American apocalyptic thriller directed by Vic Armstrong. Now, Vic Armstrong is apparently a bit of a legend in the stunt work industry. He did stunts for I Am Legend, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Die Another Day, just to name a few. And the film was written by Paul Lalonde and John Paytas, who actually wrote a selection of films that were also based on the book that this film was based on, which I'm sure we'll dive into in a little bit. As Kira mentioned, it stars Nicolas Cage. It also stars Chad Michael Murray, Cassie Thompson, little woo, I'm here for it. Cassie Thompson, Nikki Whelan, and Jordan Sparks. As mentioned, it is based on a novel that was out in 1995 of the same name. And basically, it looks at a small group of survivors that are left behind, see what I did there, after millions of people suddenly vanish and the world is plunged into chaos and destruction. Kira, have you seen this film before?
No, I've only seen it for this podcast.
Amazing.
And there is a reason why.
Yeah, well, precisely. Claire, are you in the same boat? Because I am.
Yeah, my relationship to the film was that Kira said she wanted to do it, and I watched it, and I didn't know what it was about. I barely knew the name of the film, let alone the plot or any context. So, it was an experience.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I know that Nic Cage and planes sort of have a bit of a relationship, but I kept thinking that this film is it M. Night Shyamalan's The Following? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I can't remember, but there's Nic Cage and a plane in that as well, I think. Obviously Nic Cage in Con Air with a plane. So I think they all merged into my mind. And I remember it was quite a while ago now when we first started the podcast, Claire, when we were on a Filmageddon stream and they were talking about Nic Cage films. I think we were going through everyone's IMDb. I don't know if you were on that one, and talking about like what films we'd seen or whatever. And then that one popped up. I went, oh, that one's on the list. I shall be seeing you very soon. And then, yeah, literally knew nothing about it other than that. Kira, tell us a little bit more about what about Nic Cage gets you interested in his filmography.
I mean, that is a very good question.
I mean, that's like that's an essay question. Right?
It is. Like in the next, 10,000 words, I'm going to explain to you my affinity to Nic Cage. I don't know what the draw is. I remember I started watching a lot of his films after watching Face Off years ago. And that's when I first became aware of this film, but I didn't watch it. But all I knew was that it basically hadn't made a cinema release, and it was kind of around... I want to say, like, the man went bankrupt, and this was, like, peak bankruptcy era Nic Cage.
I love that that's not the story he tells, though.
Oh, does he tell a story? I don't think I've heard the story.
I mean, I might have just said fake news there, and if I have,
no, he definitely had like a load of money issues, and he tells that story. But for this specific film, he's like, "Oh no, my brother is like really religious and a big fan of the books, and so I did it for him." It's like, yeah, all right.
Well, as soon as you bring religion into it, though, like no one can argue, can they? So
that's what this film hoped.
if that's what you're using to save face, then by all means take it. But yeah, like I'll watch a Nicolas Cage film now, and I don't have a problem. He's having a pretty good run at the minute, but this just seemed like, it was a gap in my knowledge and experience and just life in general. Like it was, I felt like I was missing something.
There was a void there, and this film was there, and we watched it, and there's a lot to say about it.
You could say it's created a bigger void.
So much so that millions of people have just disappeared through that void.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think we're ready. I think we're chomping at the bit to just get down with this film straight away. So I guess, I mean, just quickly before we do, Claire, I don't know about you, but did you have any thoughts going in? Because I was just like, right, this is Nic Cage. Whatever happens is going to be at least entertaining, surely. Did you think the same?
I totally thought it was just like a disaster movie.
Right.
I didn't know. I literally knew nothing other than Nic Cage, and I think the poster has like an aeroplane with some fire. I was like, oh, like it's going to be just like a lazy Nic Cage action thriller. I mean, technically, it kind of was, but there was like quite a lot of other stuff going on around it that I was a
little bit of religion in there for spice, This is
just a light sprinkling.
Just a little light sprinkling. Yeah, no, this is heavy-handed over
bashing you over the head with a Bible, like.
Take that for seasoning.
Whoops! The lid fell off the container.
In case you hadn't already worked out, this film has, the book that it's based on not only has a lot of religious connotations, but is essentially built around the narrative of the apocalypse, specifically from Bible stories. So spoiler warning ahead now, we're going to dive a bit more into the plot itself. So if you do want to go away and watch this, give us a pause now and then come back. Otherwise, welcome to spoiler territory. So Left Behind it basically follows Nicolas Cage's character. He is a commercial airline pilot called Ray Steele. Points for the name, right?
I mean, it's a porn name.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, you definitely know he stood there when he was rehearsing for that role. He's definitely stood there in the bathroom mirror with his aviators on, taking them off. Going, I'm Ray Steele.
Ray.
Like that's definitely, and he definitely tried it in the bedroom, didn't he? Let's be honest.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. So this character of Ray Steele, yeah, I mean, specifically what Kira said, it's got very much that air about him that he's been staring himself in the mirror for a long
He
time.
can swing it around a bit. Do you know what I mean? He can swing it around a bit. You got to watch your eyes when he's about. Might poke it out. I don't know.
I'm literally not going to be able to get through this plot at this rate because I'm already in hysterics. This is already 10 times more entertaining than the film that we're about to discuss. So yeah, big old Ray Steele. He is basically a commercial airline pilot. He has a wife, a daughter and a son. The wife is religious, and it's implied in the beginning of the film that there's a lot of tension between the family because she didn't used to be religious, but now she is, and kind of like just it's not gelling with the rest of her family, and they also call her crazy a lot, and it's not very nice.
You get the wonderful line, like, if she's gonna leave me for another man, at least it might as well be Jesus Christ.
That's the only other man that could top him.
There were some really great lines in this. It has to be said. Great because they're so bad that they're good. Absolutely, which is exactly what I expected when I started realizing what this film was actually about. And the setup for this family is that the daughter has come back from college to see her dad for his birthday, but his dad has been quote unquote called to work for a flight when actually, he planned it for a little while in advance. It's implied that maybe he's having an affair, and it's just
he definitely is.
he
definitely is. It's Ray Steele, lads. You know.
It would be totally out of character for someone called Ray Steele to not be having an affair. And basically that's the setup, lots of tension along the way when the dad and the daughter sort of like meet at the airport because she kind of works out what he's doing. There's an investigative journalist that gets involved because just some other conversations that I won't get into too much detail, but he's actually on Ray Steele's flight. Now, the big sort of moment in this film is that after all of that melodrama for guys, what, about like 30 minutes, 45 minutes?
Like a while.
Very Lifetime vibes.
Mhm.
I thought exactly the same thing.
My second note is
Where's the disaster? Where's the disaster?
It was the music. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have to talk about the music later in detail, but
Absolutely.
yeah, the music.
Yeah. But basically there's this disaster, quote unquote. The daughter is with the young brother in the mall, and then all of a sudden she's hugging him, and then he disappears. Just his clothes.
The
And
rapture.
then you turn around and like half the people there, the same things happen, and then basically chaos ensues. The same thing happens on the plane. So half the passengers go missing and their clothes remain. Lots of kids, mainly kids, and then some other people as well. And then the rest of the film is basically panic, panic, panic. How can we land this plane? Because obviously, as you can imagine, people who are on the traffic control and things like that, they've gone too. So that's kind of the crux of the film itself. Let's get into it. What do we think?
So I'll start a little bit. Because I knew nothing about this film, I was really confused for like the first 20 minutes whether the religious people were meant to be good or the religious people were meant to be bad. Once the rapture happened, I was like, got it, on the track. But like you said, they are so mean to the mother. And like, they never present the mum as actually anything that bad. Like, the daughter's like, Mum, stop talking about religion to me. But the mum didn't mention religion at all. The daughter brings it up and then has a go at her for responding to the question.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's a Bible basher woman in the airport, and she gives the line, which is my favourite line reading, honey, God knows everything. And she is such an unlikable character, and we're kind of rooting for Chad Michael Murray's reporter and Nicolas Cage's daughter,
that's how
who
they
are
meet, don't
involved.
they?
That's how they meet.
This woman sort of coming in and sort of being a bit too intense with the whole religious stuff, and then the daughter just comes along and takes it upon herself to kind of back away, as if this woman is being abusive to this journalist, which she isn't. She's just saying her views, you know.
And it sets her up as like an abusive person, though. Like, it sets her up as she's over the top, and like it sets it up that all the religious people are like
Fanatics,
over the top and
basically.
crazy fanatics. But then the rapture happens, so they all go off to heaven, and I was like,
peace.
Wait, like, so were they the good people? We don't hate religion, we like religion. I was confused.
Well, yeah, I think from a theming point of view, just in the background, obviously this used to be a book and then it was adapted, and it was a bit confusing, like who this was for and what the message was, because as you say, the two religious people that are in the opening are drawn as villains, like drawn as the people who are crazy and is it fanatical? Do you say it like that?
Mm-hmm.
But like, as you say, Claire, the mum never actually brings it up, but it's implied that, or like through conversations, that she says like world disasters are a good thing, but that's purely through the daughter's eyes, because you can see it as an audience that what they're saying is that God, obviously this whole God works in mysterious ways kind of thing. You've heard it before, but this daughter, you can see she's like not irrationally annoyed about it, but clearly there's something a little bit more to why she's annoyed about it, but they never really explain why.
It's clearly not the first time they've had that conversation in that house. Put it that way.
Yeah. So it was kind of trying to do some screenwriting tricks where they're like, okay, you know, clearly, like you say, Kira, clearly they've had this conversation before, but they didn't quite tell us what we needed to know from that conversation.
Intrigue.
So she seemed a little bit over the top in terms of how she was reacting to it. But yeah, as you say, the rapture happens and everyone who is religious or otherwise innocent in terms of the kids is taken to heaven, because, you know, shit's about to get real.
Get down and get
down.
funky. Ray Steele is on the scene.
So they peace out over to heaven. They're like, we'll leave this to you guys because you didn't believe in God, so he's doing us a favor, we're off. And then we're just kind of left with everyone else. So as you say, it's unclear from, you know, what is it trying to say? Is it trying to be preachy and say you should be religious because then you'll be saved? But then also, when they are presenting people who are, they're really not presenting them in a good light. So
this was my issue, and like we kind of mentioned very briefly before we started recording, if anyone was religious, and I said I'm like, in the loosest sense of the word, religious, but I was brought up Catholic, brought up very religious, and this is the kind of film that pisses me off, and is the reason I don't tell people that I'm religious or that I'm Christian, because this kind of like Bible over the top film masquerading, like secretly pretending it's not that kind of film. And it's like, no, we're a fun action thriller with Nicolas Cage, but secretly like, be a better person, believe in God, accept him as your saviour. It pisses me off.
yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing wrong with having religion. Religion can be really great, but it should be a personal choice. It should be anyone's choice to make. Stop trying to fucking Trojan horse religion into my stupid action films.
What do you think, Kira?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I mean, I've got to be honest. I did not. I feel like I really let the side down here, because I did not connect with the film that deeply. I was just watching it, and I was like, you know, oh, the Thanos snap happened.
That's exactly what I was thinking in my head. I was just like, Avengers again.
I was like, this is what the world looks like, you know, when Marvel stuff happens outside of Marvel. So, like, I mean, I think it had lost me for a bit, actually, just before the rapture happened. I think I was on my phone, and like the woman, she was just hugging a pile of clothes, and I was like, what is just going on here?
Wait, let's rewind. What about this?
I was like, we're gonna have to go back a few seconds here because I've missed a beat. But yeah, I was just like, I was almost like I was watching it in slow motion. Like, you know, there was piles of dirty laundry everywhere, and then people were just losing their minds. I mean, like, the world went to shit quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, people did
No
not mess
warning.
around.
No warning.
And cars were able to drive without people in them. She was attacked by a lot of driverless cars.
It was as if it was happening around her, because I saw, I mean, I was looking at the goofs for this film, and my God, are there some on IMDb about this? Mainly about the fact that everything that happens would never happen on an airplane because of the flight protocol. Honestly, we could do a whole podcast just talking about all of the things that would not ever happen on an airplane. But one of the ones that was on the ground is that how, you know, obviously if some people who are driving disappear, then obviously their car's going to crash, etc. But, you know, when these things are happening, like the school bus that comes off of the bridge when she's running by, I mean, the disappearance, like, I'm going to call it the snap still, because it basically is. The snap happened like 30 minutes ago. How long has this school bus been driving before without a driver just toddling along? Oh, now we're going to go off a bridge. Like, it doesn't make sense.
He'd seen enough. Like, that didn't happen as a result of the snap.
I'm out.
He was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
My biggest issue, so, like, well, there were two, in that, like, maybe I know that what the rapture is, and God forbid this ever happened in real life. I'm like, oh fuck, we've all been raptured. I wasn't religious enough. But, like, it's been done in, like, a lot of other media as well. There is an excellent American Dad episode on the rapture, highly recommend it, which is, like, I think what I know most of my rapture lore from. But so it annoyed me that no one in the film for like at least an hour, not one single person was like, oh, it's the rapture. They were all like going mental. They're acting as if the pilot did it though.
I mean, that's so typical of like American disaster films, though, isn't it? Like, you know, they just whip their guns out and they start shooting at it. Like, they don't really question who's really to blame. They don't try and solve it in a logical way. They're just like riot and like storm the Capitol.
Yeah, I mean, it took all of 0.5 seconds for people to start looting. A couple of kids disappeared and you're looting.
This was what blew my mind. I was like, so we're not just going to gradually descend into chaos? Like, nobody stood around going like, what has just happened? Because I think that would be my first instinct. Like, you know, I'm just going about, I'm minding my business. I'm going to Costa to get a coffee. And like, now I'm just surrounded by a pile. I mean, I'm assuming like I'm not taken in the rapture.
You would be. You're lovely. You'd be taken.
I'm assuming I'm not ascending to a higher place. I mean, I'm just surrounded by, like, imagine like you're just getting handed something in KFC or something, but the person who was handing it to you behind the counter, like, they're just shriveled up, gone. You know, your chicken's everywhere. I'm not instantly going to start rioting. I'm going to be like, excuse me.
Actually, if I was in KFC, I would 100% lean over and take some extra chicken.
Yeah, get me an extra mayo sachet. I'm here.
Well, so my issue as well is that, like, I understand for some of them, like, some of the people in the plane, like, there's a mum who was asleep and she wakes up and her child is gone. That is confusing. That's terrifying. Get that. But our main female, I've forgotten her name, but the daughter, she is hugging her brother in her arms when he is raptured. So she has him in her arms and then he disappears and all that's left is her clothes. She then spends an hour being like, where did he go to? Where did he run away to? And it's like, bitch, you were physically holding him. He hasn't run away anywhere.
You absorbed him.
Osmosis.
She goes like a school, she goes to a hospital, she goes to church, all like looking for this brother. And it's like, you know where he went.
Yeah, the fact that she went to a hospital was like, come on, girl. Like, you really, she genuinely thought that he'd run away. And maybe it was just like pure denial of, obviously, if that was happen, it would take a lot for you to wrap your head around that happened. But I think more so if it had just been him, but you can clearly see that it's happening around you. So, like, I feel like it would just, you wouldn't be able to convince yourself that that person had run away. What, they've all just picked up together and gone, go on, guys, but it's like a flash mob. But people just
Ant-Man.
rather than
a literal flash mob.
Like, right, ready, guys, go. And then they've all gone. And it's just like,
and left their clothes.
Obviously, yeah, left their clothes. A naked flash mob. But yeah, it's like the fact that it just feels like a massive weight. It feels like they needed to fit in time for her like story whilst all this stuff was going on in the air, so that at the end, obviously, she could help her dad land the plane. But it was just so silly that she really convinced herself that every time she saw an ambulance that her brother was in there, to the point where she travelled all the way to the hospital. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt really like that hospital scene was very 28 Days Later, with all of the empty like baby like cradles and stuff. And then there's just this one woman who's like, they're all gone. And I'm like, all of a sudden it's trying to be like a horror. And I was like, what is going on?
My initial reaction, which is terrible, is I'm pretty sure there's some evil kids. I don't think all the kids would have been raptured. Fairly sure there's a few dickhead kids.
I mean, the thing that got me at that point in the hospital.
I'm just laughing at you laughing.
Bear in mind that I was clearly like of not the intellectual sort of requirements to be watching it, because I genuinely didn't get the religious aspect of it. Like, it makes sense now that we're talking about it.
Did you not get it when he explained it though?
When he got the Bible, he was like, they were all religious.
I think I might have slipped into a coma at that point. I don't know. But like, they went into like the maternity ward, and I'm looking around and I'm like, surely by like law of probability there should be some more babies in here. Like, I went about it mathematically. I was hitting it with science and math. I went in completely opposite direction. And
you were doing Thanos' 50% snap.
There you go. Oh, exactly. I was like, there should be more of you here.
I wish we were recording videos so I could clip that bit of you doing the very dramatic Thanos snap from Kira.
But it does, my mind always kept going back to the Thanos snap. So I was like, who did it better? Like, who wore it better on the carpet?
See, the whole time I was just trying to remember the plot of the American Dad episode where they did the rapture.
I quite enjoyed the idea of the plot and the theme itself, but I just feel like the execution of it was pretty shoddy.
It's so bad.
I don't think the timing was great for it either. I feel like in the 90s, like, we'd have had this for breakfast.
Well, right? No, because the original film came out in the 90s and people did not eat it for breakfast.
Well,
they threw it in the bin.
It was
but that one didn't have Nic Cage in, did it?
Yeah.
No, so there are quite a lot of differences. I watched about half of the original one.
Have you?
I didn't realise this was a remake.
I realised it was a remake at 10 o'clock this morning. And so whilst I was attempting to set up the podcast and failing miserably, I had it on in the background.
Amazing. What, is it streaming somewhere then?
It's on Amazon.
Oh my God.
What is it called?
Left Behind.
No, Left Behind, the movie.
No, but there are 2 filmed sequels to it and a spin-off because there are 16 books.
Madness.
Good Lord.
But this film is only like the first 20 or 30 minutes of that film.
Right. Okay. Which kind of makes sense, really, because it does feel like this is really, really stretched out for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, like, if it was that kind of disaster film, perfect. Because you've kind of got, okay, let's do a disaster film with Nic Cage being a pilot and these people disappear and have like the undertones of it being a religious thing, but not focus too much on that, you know, at the beginning and things like that, and just make it, that's the reason, that's sort of like why it's happening. But then focus on the action or whatever. I think like that could have worked better. But clearly, as you say, this isn't the whole story, which is why it feels a bit lackluster. I think the thing for me that was why I didn't enjoy it is because, considering it's about landing a plane when, you know, I don't know if it's specifically half, but a lot of people have gone missing. There's no air traffic control. You've got panicking passengers. Is that it wasn't even like tense or thrilling. Like there were
no stakes,
and there was no ebb and flow of, oh, I'm getting really tense and oh, this is a moment to talk emotionally or whatever. It was just people screaming for an hour and a half,
and not convincingly.
No, exactly. And like, I don't know about you, but specifically the passengers on the plane, the fact that they were rioting on the plane, trying to get into the captain, trying to get into the cockpit, as if the captain has the answers, as if he's a magician that went and he's got them all in the back behind the curtain.
What I did while you were all sleeping is I pressed a button and suctioned all the children out of the plane. They were outside now.
Exactly. There's a special button for this. But it was
But,
just
like,
crazy.
The
Like,
writers of this film have obviously never been on an aeroplane and or never been around the normal public,
No.
because they were the most stereotypically written characters ever, which is its own racist issue, stereotype issue, which I could go on about. We can go into it, we cannot go into it. Don't know if we need a Claire rant in today's episode. But
rants.
the bigger issue is that, like, I've never been first class on a plane, but I've been on a plane. I don't know anyone who ever fucking talks to anyone on a plane. You don't talk to strangers. Everyone in this first class seems to be travelling on their own and just happily having a little chat with people across the aisle. It's like, that's not how planes work. That's not how people work.
Yeah. I mean, I can
also-
forgive that to a certain extent, but yeah, just the way that they react afterwards is just all one note, and it gets so tiresome after a little while, I think.
And let's not forget either, when he comes out and he's like, yeah, we're out of fuel, we've got big issues going on. He only bothers to tell everybody in first class. He don't give a shit about anybody else. He's
They
like,
don't-
well,
They have to pay for that privilege, Kira.
these guys probably got the loyalty cards. I'll take care of these ones first.
Yeah.
Like, Ray had his priorities in order
They'll be
throughout this
coming
whole
back
thing.
to spend their miles.
He was like, I serve the airline and the airline only. He was like, I've got this under control.
Honestly. And they do show like economy class, but oh my god, like the lack of screen time those guys get is
I know, discrimination to the lower classes.
Yeah.
We don't care if you die.
Oh
poor
no,
people.
no. It's the general public.
I mean, who was your least favourite passenger? Because I know who mine was.
I mean, that's like asking,
I have to say, like the people who were rioting and trying to get into the cockpit, and then when they told everyone to sit back down, and then he was trying to get everyone to calm down, that guy kept unbuckling his seatbelt and standing up past that, bitch, you better sit down or he's gonna make you sit down. It was really annoying me. I don't know the lad's name. He was in economy, so he didn't get a character name.
he is irrelevant. No, I think we all liked Book.
Yeah,
Book,
the investigative
whatever his-
journalist.
I kept calling him Book Rogers, but I know that definitely weren't his name.
I mean, he was Lucas from One Tree Hill, and
Yeah.
he cannot be in anything ever until I die. He will only ever be Lucas from One
Wait,
Tree
see,
Hill.
I was like Tristan from Gilmore Girls.
Yes,
I was like,
Yeah.
he grew up quite nicely.
I think he was probably the best character.
Oh yeah.
I think he was the most believable. The fact that he's an investigative journalist and like deals with all of these like natural disasters, the way he had those emotional chats with the daughter, I think, I was on board for it. I think he did well with the material that he had.
There's a reason that the only two names of any actor in this film that you know are Chad Michael Murray and Nic Cage, because they're in a separate film to the rest of the cast.
Yeah, literally. It does feel like that though, doesn't it? It does feel like that was the sort of like A shoot, that was the A unit, that was their film, and then everything else was pick up. Everything else.
I think like the feeling I got was that they really knew the kind of film they were in when they were making it.
Yeah.
And everybody else was just going a bit ham.
Yeah.
They were like, this is my moment.
And this brings me to my least favourite passenger.
Go on.
The random high as fuck lunatic woman in first class.
Terrible accent, yeah.
So apparently, I got this from the Caged In podcast, so if it's not true, blame them. She is the director's daughter. She is a stunt woman. She's done some stunt work, and this is her, I think this is, if not her only, one of only 2 acting credits. But according to the Caged In podcast, she is the director or the writer's daughter. But, like, she is barely in the film, then all of a sudden has, like, this big emotional, like, 10-minute arc where she's super high and has to go shoot up in the bathroom, like, which is just its own issue. But she then at one
having
point...
a hard time, though, let's be honest.
It is the rapture, Claire. Give her a break.
She seems to be the only one who knows what it is as well. She then, like, panics and then turns around to Buck and goes, hold me.
I mean, you would, wouldn't you? It's Chad Michael Murray.
Has anyone ever in real life, not just us, just, I mean, the world, has anyone ever asked anyone or uttered the words, hold me.
Oh wait, I thought that was the air hostess to Nicolas
yeah.
Cage.
She
was it?
she
Yeah,
said it as
still
well.
though, point stands.
Point stands.
It was terrible
Like,
dialogue.
If you are a human being listening to this podcast and you have ever said, hold me, to someone, please can you get in touch? Because I just don't believe in the words that have ever been uttered.
And at the same time, let me also chime in with, if something like that is occurring and you turn to anybody and go, hold me, like, maybe just take a minute and consider that everybody's got their own shit going on at that point. I ain't got time to be holding you. I've got my own problems.
I've got to hold myself. I've got to hold it together.
Look at all this washing that's just created itself.
Who's going to do all of those loads of washing? Because it ain't me. It's just like little things as well. Like, it just feels so. It feels, some shots feel very student film. Like when the daughter's running trying to make her way to the hospital, and she's running with the brother's backpack on, and then this motorbike just pulls up so slowly next to them and just kind of takes it off her. She kind of helps it be taken off her, and then she's like, "Oh, that was my brother's," and I'm like, "That's why you two-strap. That's why you two-strap."
The other thing as well was when they were doing, and I get why they left it in, but they shouldn't have done. Towards the end, when she's helping them land the plane and she's setting off all the explosions, there's a really bad shot where they've got an in-car camera, and the quality is so low
that was
compared
just a
to
GoPro.
what. Compared to what the rest of the film was. And clearly it was the only shot they got of that explosion, because there's no other reason as to why they kept that shot in, because it's so jarring.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, you've got that, and then you clearly have the change from when it's her and when it's a stunt woman, because like she's like, "Oh, here, take my bag that's being stolen from me," and then the next minute she hops on a motorcycle, like with no prior knowledge to her being able to ride a bike, just drives away like she's in Fast and Furious.
I thought that as well, and I was also like, "That's a fucking adventure bike. Like, you ain't picking that up by yourself."
I was like, "She's strong. Is this a superhero movie?"
I was like, "Hello, Marvel, are you back?"
Do you want Thanos Snap Part 2?
That was a good one, wasn't it?
That was a good one. But yeah, like when she clears the runway for the dad to land the plane, I was just like, this girl is a quick thinker, and she's just managing to just move all of the shit with like literally a 4x4, and then she gets on the steamroller thing. Yeah. I'm just like, fair enough, like some people are better in a crisis than I am, and I need to accept that I wouldn't think as quickly as she would. But it was all just very unearned. I feel like it was just very like, oh wait, so this girl who's been crying, running around hospitals trying to find her brother, now suddenly has the logic to go to an unused bit of
it was because
motorway.
She was gonna kill herself. She climbed up the bridge to kill herself, and she got the call that meant that she did have purpose in life, and so then God renewed faith. She got the call from God that life was worth living. And off she goes to make sure life continues to be worth living.
He was like, "You're not coming up here, but do me a favour."
Well, so that was my thing with her as well. So I was trying to plot who got raptured and who didn't and why. So obviously all the kids got raptured because kids are all lovely, and the mum character gets raptured because she was a believer. You've got the old couple on the plane where the husband gets raptured and the wife doesn't. So I'm like, oh, what did the wife do? We know that Nicolas Cage and the air hostess don't get raptured.
Is it what they do, or is it what they believe? Because I thought it was what they believe.
But it depends on what. No, it depends on what you like lean into with the rapture, but it's all about like being a good person and believing in God and all of that. But so I was like, well, obviously Nic Cage and the air hostess are like dirty adulterers, so that's their sin. But I was like, what did Chad Michael Murray and the daughter do? Like, he seems to be a really like solid investigative journalist. Yeah, surely that gets you head points. And she seems like a nice kid.
Preemptive.
Maybe they were preemptive. They looked at Buck and, Nicolas Cage's daughter.
You're going to do bad things.
You might not be sinners yet, but you will.
Yeah, Buck is definitely fucked out of wedlock. We are correct.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out what everyone's sin was. I was like, why are they all here?
I didn't. I just went with my understanding was what they believed more than anything, and that kind of made more sense to me. But I have obviously, like, where we've read around the film and people's thoughts and stuff, a lot of people have said, the fact that they've got someone who's a drug user, they've got someone who's an adulterer, they've got some all these people.
A Muslim.
Yeah, don't even go there. And it's all very stereotypical. They don't really go into that side of things. So it kind of feels like either do it and go into it, or don't even like signpost it, kind of thing. Because otherwise it just comes off as really like cheap and half-assed. But talking about cheap and half-assed, what was your favourite bit of dialogue?
Mine was the honey, God knows everything, because that actress, she knew she only had that moment, she knew she only had that scene, and she went for it. That was a powerful line delivery.
Yeah, to be fair. No, I quite liked her character moment. Really, really, you know, like push. What's the word? What's the word where it's like I've lost my brain today. Hit home just how crazy these religious people really are. I am being sarcastic. My favourite is when the air hostess says to Nic Cage, "Aren't you scared?" And he says, "I will be as soon as I have time."
Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie, I actually liked that. What's the word?
Unironically.
I actually really liked that.
It was lines like that like made me say it would have been so suited to the 90s.
Yeah,
And also, you know, you could have so easily swapped out Nicolas Cage with Bruce Willis.
yeah,
Like, I mean, I was watching it and I was thinking Armageddon as well.
yeah. No, absolutely.
The daughter's plot did make me think she was having her own like little Die Hard game to herself, like running around the streets by herself, being like, "I'm in Die Hard" or Sharknado, just running around from these magic cars that
Die
keep
Hard,
attacking her.
Sharknado.
I mean, she was kind of just doing like when you finished a video game, there are no more missions to do. Like she was just going around just doing stuff for the crack. Like, I'll be honest, she didn't really put much of a shift in until the last 10 minutes, did she?
No.
You know, she
Very
just ran
true.
around shouting "Gravy, Gravy," because I'm sure that's what the kid was called. Like, he was definitely called Gravy, wasn't he?
Oh my god, what was he called? Raimi.
Gravy spell.
It sounded like gravy.
Gravy.
Gravy, Gravy, Bisto,
You know
come
what
back.
happened? You know what happened? She was being served KFC at lunch, and the guy behind the counter disappeared, and she really wanted gravy.
I knew it. I knew it.
Can we talk about Jordan Sparks?
I suppose.
Do you know who she was meant to be originally?
Yeah, Tia from Tia and Tamara.
Yeah,
I kind of am pleased for Tia that she didn't do this, because I don't think she had a lot of great stuff to to play with there. It wasn't. Jordan Sparks is a great singer, and yeah.
Maybe she should stick to what she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good for her. She wanted to try a bit of acting, but you know, she didn't have very good dialogue. It went from 0 to 100 real quick, because obviously she was very upset that her daughter went missing, disappeared, went to heaven. But then, like, it took right up until the end for her to pull a gun on someone.
And also, isn't it like shooting a gun in a plane a way to like surefire crash the plane?
Absolutely.
I feel like any action movie I've ever seen has been like, do not fucking shoot a gun in a plane.
She's an emotional mother. She doesn't have logic right now, you know.
Well, she didn't get raptured, so she's clearly a moron.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself. Yeah, there were quite an interesting mix of characters in First Class. I found some of the conversations really strange. Like at the beginning, the guy was who was an FBI agent or something, or US Marshal.
There was someone who was an air marshal on the plane.
The conspiracy theories about the plane with that other guy.
It was the Asian guy that was talking about the conspiracy theories.
But like, where did that come from? What?
I mean, didn't they start asking him to fix it at one point?
I don't know.
Like, I'm fairly certain there was something implied that because he was Asian, clearly he knew what had happened and had the solutions to the problem. And
there was a lot of those horrific assumptions made.
I was like,
when there was a guy with dwarfism and a Muslim on the plane, there was a lot of stereotypical things being thrown around.
Like, the nicest, just most quiet passenger, but it's like, oh, you're Muslim, so you wanting to get anything from your bag at any point in this 7-hour flight definitely means you're about to pull a gun on us.
Yeah. And the fact that he then used that in his own way to then basically prove people wrong by pulling out a toothbrush, I don't think it kind of had quite the slam dunk that the writers thought that it did.
They thought they
Yeah.
did the big time with that move. Right? They were seeing the screenplay Oscars. They were writing their speeches.
Standing ovation, like.
They went off. They went to a different place. And then, like, obviously it actually materialised. And you kind of got to think it must have been quite disappointing because they thought they were the shit.
Oh, yeah. I think that's kind of the issue with the way that this film is, really. I think it's one of those ones where they really do feel like this is chef's kiss, and it's like, oh, honey, you have no idea. I don't know what you guys thought about some of the choices that were made. Obviously, I mentioned that a lot of the goofs that I found and the continuity errors and all of this stuff were pretty much, there was like hundreds, focused on how every single thing that is like done isn't possible on a plane. Like, it would never be allowed. Things like the air hostess talking into the receiver of the phone rather than the microphone. That's like that's just like the smallest thing. But then there's just tons of things like that he wouldn't ever say, the way that they say the flight number and things like that as well. But my main thing I wanted to question is, if you were halfway to London flying from New York and the air traffic controllers went down, would you or would you not just stay on your flight path? Because that's probably isn't safe, but it's probably at least a bit safer than turning the way back around and just going into a minefield of falling planes. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the thing is, like, they're expecting you when you get into London, but also, right, how much time and fuel are you losing turning around?
Exactly. Listen, if we know, and I'm just guessing neither of you guys are pilots.
Haven't passed that course yet.
The reason that they couldn't then make it to JFK, they ran out of fuel because they hit an aeroplane. So I'm just saying, I feel like they should have just kept going, and then you know they'll be able to well, they might not be able to foresee any plane crashes, but at least they're on their own flight path, and they're like, listen, you're in my space. They went back the other way. They are going into other people's spaces. So.
But then the daughter and Chad Michael Murray's character wouldn't have been reunited at the plane and had a big hug, despite the fact that they'd only met each other that morning and only had one 10-minute conversation.
But listen, now they're gonna live the rapture together. They're gonna live through it. They're gonna fight off.
They get married in the third book.
They what?
They get married in the third book.
Oh, good for them. I kind of want to do like a bit of a wiki read through of all of these.
I tried. It's long. It's very long.
Oh god, yeah. Give me a little Cliff Notes summary afterwards.
But what I did like about the fact that the plane crashed is I finally got to see one of the aeroplane giant inflatable slides. I've always wanted to see one of them. I was very pleased by that, especially when Nic Cage jumps down it. It almost does like a little salute.
How about we talk about the Muslim guy absolutely fucking the dwarf guy out of the plane? Like,
Deserved.
That took me by surprise, and I cannot tell you the noise I made when that happened. I've never made it before, but it was quite the release, I have to be honest.
Yeah, one of the inflatable slide evacuation thing is one of the things where they were like, that would absolutely, the way that it's written on IMDb, clearly this person works for an airline. They are going in. They are like, this would never happen, this would never happen, and this would never happen. And one of them is the fact that if you've got an evacuation like that, you certainly do not go orderly one at a time. Apparently, literally, the air hostess literally push you out because they want to get everyone.
Yeah.
And they were like, they do tests where they get like whole aircrafts off in like a minute and a quarter. There's no way that they'd be able to get everyone out at the same time. And like, I love reading stuff like that, but obviously it doesn't matter as much because it's a film. But the way that this person has written it, I'm assuming they're done by a lot of the same person. I quote, they say, "No experienced airline pilot would make this fundamental mistake." And I'm just living for the energy, quite frankly.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Like, the rapture ain't really happening. So how about we all just calm down and stop worrying too much about this scenario that probably poses no real
Disclaimer,
threat to
if
us.
God and or Thanos are listening and you are planning on going ahead with the rapture, we would like to be raptured, just FYI.
Yeah, just give us a little warning as well, you know.
Kira doesn't speak for all of us.
That's a memo just to God and to Thanos.
But I think
Everyone else continue.
the reason that they picked up on that, I think, is because it's so. I mean, if you have that knowledge, there's nothing here to distract you or keep you in that realm of like, what's the phrase I'm looking for? All the words are falling out of my head today. When you're
I think
happy
this is
to
a
put-
film that sort of erodes brain cells. for
Yeah,
all
it
of you.
really
Your
is.
thoughts have been raptured.
Suspending your disbelief.
Well, so that was my problem, in that you've got the first, 30, 40 minutes until the damn rapture even happens, at which point I was like, oh, it's a rapture film.
Yeah.
My brain was like, oh, I get it. I see where we're going now. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, that is quite cool, because what would happen to the planes where the pilots are raptured but the passengers aren't? So I was like, this is quite interesting. And then it does nothing interesting with the concept. And you've still got over an hour of the film to go.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the last 30 minutes, I was like, well, they've made it very clear that they are not going to kill anyone in this movie. And they've made it very clear that they're definitely going to land and everything's going to be fine. So I was like, why the fuck is this film making me still watch it? Why is it pretending there is more here?
You still watch it like it's got a gun to your head. Watch
I was
me.
just like, there's not enough here for this movie to still be on my screen.
Yeah, agreed. It was not well. I read a review that was just like, one thing happens and it's not interesting. And we haven't spoke about the music, actually. We mentioned the music earlier on. That was a treat.
My word. Is it my first line? No, my fourth note is, what the fuck is up with this 90s comedy saxophone music?
It was really strange. It did not fit the film whatsoever. But my favourite song was Over the Credits. I don't know if you caught some of the lyrics of
My final note was, this credit song is ridiculous.
I quote, "The sun has come and you've been left behind," just to, drive home that point of anyone that's not religious, fuck off, basically.
The ending to the original film has a similar Left Behind, but it's like, I won't be left behind, and it's like a upbeat 90s grooving. I was like, it was a better song.
Well, yeah, because this song is just threatening in nature.
Yeah, I think one thing you can say about Left Behind is, really nailed the subtleties.
Yeah.
It understood nuance and, not ramming a message down your throat. It was like, I'm going to leave the audience to think what they want.
You could see that whatever went on with their budget, it ran out. And you could see that someone had just gone on some royalty-free music website and was just typing in a random tag and going, that'll do. Along with whoever they employed to do the appallingly photoshopped family photo at the start of the film.
My God, yeah.
Leah Thompson and Nicolas Cage have never been in a room together.
Well, they weren't even in this film.
Yeah.
I live for those badly photoshopped photos. I feel like I should start a Twitter account that just has them all there.
Yeah.
Just little treats every day. Like, here's another one.
Do you want me to fill in some of the gaps between the novel and the original films in this film?
Take it away.
Educate us, Claire.
There are 16 books. I think there's 8 main books, 4 sequels and 4 spin-offs or something like that. So there's a lot going on. But in the books, the investigative reporter is the main character, and in the first film, he's the main character, which is why his character feels really fully formed, because he is actually the main character of the entire story. But I wonder if, because they got Nic Cage, or they decided to focus it on the plane, that they made the pilot character bigger. He is in the first film and the books, though. So the rapture happens quite soon in the first thing. He gets the plane home. I think that's all done and dusted with very quickly. Then the investigative reporter is working with the UN to try and sort some shit out, because the world is in chaos, and realises that the Antichrist has infiltrated the UN, and then the mission is to stop the Antichrist, and that's what the consequent books are. It's all about his mission to stop the Antichrist. But this Left Behind 2014 decided to write the Antichrist out.
Boring.
I respect it. It makes more sense. It seems like a more linear film to not have the Antichrist in. But it's also a very boring film, so maybe if they'd have left the Antichrist
more
in...
films could do with the Antichrist.
The Antichrist.
Just saying.
So yeah, there's 3 films and then a spin-off film. But so the first film, at the end of it, he discovers there's the Antichrist. In the second film, he goes off to try and fight the Antichrist. And then in the third film, I don't really remember because I got really bored. The Wikipedia entries are so long. Like, it's not like a nice couple of bullet points. But in the third film, they get married and the pilot marries someone new for some random reason. And I think maybe they kill the Antichrist, that there's a new villain, or there's many villains.
There's a bigger boss than the Antichrist.
God knows. God knows. But it's Thanos. It's all about like the 7 years of hell that they will all live through. So the rapture takes all the good people, and then there are 7 years of chaos, and this is all about the 7 years of chaos that they'll have to live through.
Right.
The film I watched the first 20 minutes of, and then the last 20 minutes of, because I realised this is also a really fucking boring film, and I already know the story, so I skipped to the end because I wanted to see the bit of the Antichrist. The reveal is very anticlimactic, very boring, and it's the film is just a lot of people sitting around at desks talking about how bad it is that everything collapsed.
I was about to say, I'm guessing the reason that they decided to just do the focus on the plane is because if you were going to go through like the 7 years of hell, that's a lot of budget you're eating into. Yeah. So I'm assuming they wanted to focus on one big set piece of a film. But then if you're just using all of that money on the explosions at the end, which you didn't even manage to capture on camera, and the plane set, and then you've got nothing, like it's just so inconsequential. Like, listening to that, I'd much rather watch a film that's got the whole story, because this really does feel like an act 1 of a bigger thing, the way that they've told it, because they've clearly not reconstructed that with its own 3 acts. Well, they've tried to, but it's just not really done very well.
So do you know about the proposed sequel to this film?
Very little.
Oh my god.
Very little.
I have like, I was amazed at the end. Like, I could feel it coming. Like, you know, when it was unfolding, I could feel it in my bones. My eyes started twitching. I was like, something's happening here. And they looked off into the distance, didn't they?
Yeah.
And like, New York was burnt down, and they're like, wow, it's the apocalypse, it's the end of the world. And then zooms into Nic Cage's daughter's face. It's just the beginning. And I was like, right, I admire the confidence and, you know, the aspirations that they set, but be realistic. Does anybody really want a fucking sequel to this?
Well, so Left Behind ... the movie was written by the same guy who wrote this. So the 2000 film Left Behind was written by Paul Lalonde, who also wrote Left Behind 2, Tribulation Force, and Left Behind 3, World at War. He then also wrote Left Behind 2014. He started an Indiegogo campaign to try and get the sequel Left Behind 2 made. And the Indiegogo campaign is still there. It failed. It made 16% of its target. But if you go on the Indiegogo campaign, you can still see like the messages and the videos that he made.
Right, I'm doing that. I'm looking now.
I'm die of like just like awkwardness.
In one of the videos, like, there's questions that have been asked, like, will this sequel actually be like the books? Because people were clearly pissed that it didn't follow the first book and that they wrote the Antichrist out. Because in fairness, yeah, the film did need an Antichrist.
Need a little bit of something, and that was the Antichrist.
There you go. There's the Indiegogo campaign.
God,
and look, there's the man and woman of the hour. No Nicolas Cage attached. I'm disgusted.
But in this video, he's like, I promise you, we will follow the plot of the books in the sequel. This first film was set up to be like a pilot for a whole series of films, and we will... Kira's just showing us how low...
They don't want... Like, they're not aiming for much with it. Like,
What
it's a
is
very
that?
small budget.
300,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flexible goal, flexible. They're willing to be flexible.
They just want what they can get, really.
But yeah, so he basically was like begging fans of the book to be like, yeah, it will definitely will be more realistic. We'll stick to the plot more. We really need you. Wink, wink. We need your money to help us make the film series that we want. We have all the rights to all of the books now, so we can do the whole thing. And obviously, it never happened. Apparently, on his Facebook account, he said that he was still trying to get private funding. And according to Wikipedia, but it was not cited, so I don't know how true this is, at a convention in 2019, someone asked Chad Michael Murray if he was attached, would there be a sequel? And he said that he was technically still attached, but I think he said that there isn't a script or it hasn't got funding. So he kind of just said,
hoping it dies.
yeah.
He could just tiptoe away.
Fairness to him, if you're told there's, because the books were really successful, like the books made a lot of money. So if you're Chad Michael Murray and you're told we want you for the main character in a series of 16 books and we're going to make a film for every book, your eyes would turn into dollar signs. So fair play to him for like taking it on. He was like, I get to be an investigative journalist reporter and save the day.
Yeah, I mean, like, his character was fine, so I don't blame him at all. No, it's interesting you're talking about, obviously, the link back to the other films that were previously made, the trilogy, because they were written by the same people, and the fact that there was actually a lawsuit from the original authors because they didn't like the 2000 version, the very first version. They filed a lawsuit against it for breach of contract. So obviously they were so disappointed with what, and that's that one, the one that included the Antichrist.
They did say they liked this one,
They did, yeah. They, I quote, said, I believe it does justice to the novel and will renew interest in the entire series. One of them says, it is the best movie I have ever seen on The Rapture. And when asked if it was good, one of them said, it's better than good.
Behave.
I mean, I would also say it's the best movie I've seen on The Rapture because it is the only movie I have seen on The Rapture.
Yeah, maybe that was their
It's like
way
weather
of like
forecast on the first day of the year, isn't it? Oh, it's the hottest day of the year so far. Compared to what?
Yeah, I think maybe they had a few tricks of like how they said these things.
That's how I accidentally went to a shit university. It was the #1 course for film and television production, and it's because every other university just calls it film production. But because they added in and television, they got to be #1. Bastards.
Oh my god. Yeah, people have a funny way with words, don't they? Get what they want. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Especially Ray Steele.
These guys are clearly happier with this one. I mean, fair play to the guy that's trying to raise money for a sequel that's on the bottom 100 on IMDb. Like, your work's cut out for you, mate. Your work is cut out for you. But I don't know, if they bring the Antichrist back, they might have some money from me to see what that's all about. As long as it's not just people sitting there talking about the Antichrist, I want to see him. I want to see him on the screen.
In the 2000 version, he just looks like a rich blonde dude in a suit.
I knew they were going to go down that. Where's the horns?
If I remember rightly, in American Dad, he has horns.
Perfect.
That could be a lie, though. That might be wrong.
I'll be watching that then.
It's set at Christmas, though, so it's a Christmas. It's Christmas themed.
Oh, so is he like a Krampus?
I think so. The Christmas episodes of American Dad are wild, but they've also all merged into one in my brain.
So I know that we've obviously talked about the fact that not many people were happy about this film. However, it did make a bit of money. So it was released in October 2014. And as of March 2016, the film closed and had a worldwide total of nearly 27.5 million, plus another 5.2 million with home video sales, and only had a production budget of 16 million. So they made money.
So why is he crowdfunding the sequel then? If he made back the money,
gave it
and
up to Nic Cage. Another thing that was interesting when I was thinking about, okay, so these people have paid to see the film, but did they like it? Because obviously when we talk about box office, we're like, that's one thing. It means the marketing worked, doesn't mean the film worked.
And yeah, marketing, if you just put Nicolas Cage in front of an exploding plane, you're going to get people.
Absolutely. So
they got us.
Once again, tip of the hat to the marketing team. But what made me think about whether audiences liked it and who actually would pay to see this, So, we were talking about cinema score before, Claire, about how the people who are asked to rate films via cinema scores medium are the people that have actually paid to see them because they want to see the film. So it does kind of skew the rankings a little bit, because if you go into a film and it's not what you're expecting, then you're going to get things like, what was the one? I know that Mother had an F, because we were talking about that.
Yeah.
We were talking about I Know Who Killed Me, because the trailer is a different film. It's a completely different film.
Can you believe that this has a cinema score of B-?
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah, which is wild, because I'm like, well, clearly people got what they wanted then. These people that paid to see this film got what they wanted.
Cinema score, please can you just start sending me films? Because, come on.
I'll tell you what I think. But I mean, that was very high compared to some of the other sort of like scoring and critiquing. Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a very healthy 1% from the old critics.
Yeah, it does.
A bit higher though with the audience, 38%. Again, higher than the Flintstones.
I just... What the fuck is wrong with audiences? Can everyone please do a rating of the Flintstones 1994 film on Rotten Tomatoes? Because we need to raise that rating. It cannot be lower than this shit. This is a plea. Don't donate money to charity. Don't buy me any presents. Just raise Flintstones Rotten Tomatoes audience score.
I love how you're like lobbying. This is like your version of Release the Snyder Cut. You're like lobbying.
Why don't you go on Indiegogo and see like people are... I mean, it's working for this guy. It might work for you as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yet another one, and I think this is unfortunately going to be something you're gonna have to struggle through every week, Claire, by the sounds of it. I do like,
but I'm gonna. It's my new awareness campaign. Right. Every time we do this, I'll bring awareness to the fact, like film Twitter. Do you know that people think this film is better than this film?
God, don't do that. Don't do that. The thing will implode. Don't do it.
R.I.P. your mentions.
If you disagree, go to Rotten Tomatoes and give Flintstones a higher score. Go, go, go.
I'm gonna just warn you now. You're gonna get a lot of trolls. Avoid that.
I mean, they might actually turn up at your house.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I was looking at legally changing my name yesterday. Maybe I'll do that afterwards.
To what? Claire, I love the Flintstones brand.
No, as in like for protection, so no one can find me.
Right. Okay. Sure, Jan. So I also like reading out the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, because I feel like it summarizes obviously very well what people were thinking. But this is done in a very biblical phrasing. So I'm not sure how this is going to go.
I should hope so.
It says, "Yea, verily, like unto a plague of locusts, left behind hath begat a further scourge of devastation upon Nicolas Cage's once proud filmography." I don't think Nicolas Cage's filmography is consistent enough for them to say that, though, because it's very ding, 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 up and down.
I mean, this was at the point, though, like Kira was saying at the top of the episode, this was the beginning of that, really. Up until this point, he'd kind of stayed steady for the most part. This was when it went wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was
when, do you know what? I'm going to need to put food on the table. I've got mortgages to pay. Like, sometimes you just got to sell your soul a little bit. You know, sacrifice some artistic creativity. Yeah.
He also sold a lot of his stuff, because he had a lot of stuff. That man is a shopaholic.
I've seen surprisingly little of it. I've now realised.
He's got like hasn't he got he did at one point have a pet octopus, because he used to study it for one of the roles that he had.
Yeah.
And he wasn't playing an octopus, so I don't really know what the relevance was.
And like he has like so much like film memorabilia that's like in the millions.
Yeah.
Like he sold a lot.
Oh, I thought you said he has a lot of films. Did you say he has a lot of money?
A lot of stuff.
No, just as well.
Just stuff. Just like he went. I think his money issues came from IRS taxes.
Oh, we've heard this
I think
one
that
before.
was the biggest. But he also spent a lot of money on a lot of fucking nonsense.
He bought a lot of houses when there was a housing boom, and then when the market crashed, the houses weren't worth anything anymore.
Oh,
and that's where
the value went to heaven in the rapture. Off they go.
You tried a bit too hard with that one, I
Oh,
think.
well, I'm running out of
Right.
steam now. I'm running out of steam, you see. I'll bring it back.
You
I found a
peaked
list.
too soon.
I'll bring it back.
Okay, this article is called Nicolas Cage blew $150 million on a dinosaur skull, pygmy heads, and 2 European castles.
He's living his life, though. Do you know what I mean? Good for him.
He does what he wants.
It's the
He's
GC.
bought many bizarre items, such as a 9-foot-tall burial tomb, an octopus, a $150,000 Superman comic, and a 17-million-year-old dinosaur skull. But he did have to return the dinosaur skull to the Mongolian government.
Downer.
And yeah, he owned some castles. He owned a lot of stuff. And despite his financial ruin, Cage doesn't regret all of his purchases.
Absolute legend.
You have good investments and bad investments, he says. The good investments came from personal interest and my honest enjoyment of the
Oh, good
history.
for him.
He's just a historian, guys.
He's just a man who wants to spend his hard-earned money on things that make him happy. And if those things are skulls, not human mind, if those things are skulls or fossils, and they rack him into a bit of debt, just give the guy a bit of help. You know, let him do these kind of films so that he can continue to enjoy his octopus pet.
Yeah, like,
I think now, you asked me at the start, like, what's the draw to Nicolas Cage, and that has just reminded me. Like, he don't give a fuck. He does what he wants.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I have the same draw to Jason Statham as
Right.
well. And it relates more to the films now, I think, as well. Like, they just make the kind of films that I think they'd want to watch.
Yeah.
Jason Statham definitely does. And I think Nicolas Cage is now aware of what he's become known for and what people want from him.
Yeah.
And I think he also really enjoys doing it. Because, I just think he does what he wants to do. And he's cornered a market now
Yeah.
doing it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He can probably live out his days doing this same shit over and over again. And nobody's going to complain. And he can buy all the skulls that he wants to then, can't he?
I mean, it is such a cooler story. Like, oh, celebrity in ruin because they lost their money to gambling and drugs. No,
Yeah.
mate, I lost it because I bought some castles and a giant fucking dinosaur skull.
Yeah. He was enjoying the good times. Don't knock him for that. So what if he didn't set up an ISA? Do you think he cared?
There's going to be so many silences, bro. I'm just like screaming. You can't breathe when you're laughing. Oh my god, I can't. Yeah, I just really appreciate that insight into the kind of guy that Nic Cage is. And you're right, like, no matter what he does now, people are going to be like, oh god, I wonder what this one's like, and they're going to pay the money. So, but as you say, I think just from sort of, like, I haven't seen a lot of his recent stuff, but sounds like he's on a bit of an upward trajectory at the moment.
He's doing some good stuff at the minute, I think. I mean, like, he's had moments, like, even during this, he's had moments where I think the films have been all right, and I don't think, in fairness, I think the effect that it's had on his reputation with sort of film snobs is probably more damaging than the films he's actually done.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, every actor does these kinds of films where they've just got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. You know,
It's a job.
Some
at the end
people,
of the day, like,
exactly. And I think, like, you look, especially when they start getting older, or you can have a role that just, it does something to your career in some way. You know, I think everybody does them but I just think Nicolas Cage had a particularly bad run with them. But Keanu Reeves did as well, I think. Like, until sort of,
when you look
John
at Keanu Reeves, like, his filmography, there's some dark times there. Like, we all forget about The Lake House.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I feel like I've barely seen any Keanu Reeves and Nic Cage films. So.
I've never actually seen The Lake House, but I know the plot, and like, what the fuck, man? That is a stupid film. I'm sorry if you love it; it might be great, but that sounds like a
I'm not
stupid
being funny, but the
film.
fact you've just described it as that makes me want to see it more than if you'd have described it as good. So
You have a problem,
I
Daisy.
know,
You have a
I know.
problem.
There was one thing about sort of the reception of the film that I wanted to touch back upon, because we were talking a little bit about it earlier in terms of like, who is this for film wise, in terms of like, what is the message? Are they implying that being religious is the outcome that they want people to want, and things like this? So from like a Christianity or like a Christian viewer's point of view, there was a Christian magazine called Christianity Today. They majorly criticized the film and basically said that it's not a Christian film, whatever a Christian film could mean. Most of the Christians within the movie are portrayed as crazy, delusional, and at the very least just really annoying. But essentially, the view is that the filmmakers wanted like churches to book out like whole theaters and take their congregations, and want people, want magazines like that to publish like big long form features and things like that, which working in the PR industry entertainment wise, that is exactly what they would have wanted. They would take a theme and be like, right, go to that specific area of audiences and really like go hard in it. But basically what the critic of the magazine said is that they basically want to do all that, take all the cash, but they don't actually care about the Christian belief at all. Obviously, they just want people who are Christian to be tricked into caring about this film, when there's actually there's not really any weight to the Christianity or religion.
It was very hollow.
Yeah. But basically, they tried to give the film 0 stars, but their tech system wouldn't allow it. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Obviously, I don't know if and like we always want to hear from people who are in sort of different groups and communities when there are, not more than a mention, but like when these are sort of covered in these films. Obviously, we said that, Claire, you said you are religious to a certain extent. Me and Kira said that we're not. It'd be interesting to see from our listeners, if you are Christian, you've seen this film, what your view on it is, because I think that's so important to kind of understand and see from different perspectives and stuff as well. But yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting take from that magazine.
I had a review from a critic called Monica Costello, and she kind of said very similar things, like just one small section of it. She just says like the in-your-face Christianity of the first movie is really watered down so that it will appeal to non-religious audiences, but at the same time then it risks distancing like the book's loyal fan base. And the movie with a mission can't pretend to serve two different audiences. It can't pretend to be for a non-religious and a religious, and that is in some ways where it fails. And I do think that she kind of nailed it spot on there.
And that it reminds me, I don't know if you guys watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but there's a moment when one of the guys in it is pretending to be on both sides in a religious debate, and he goes, "See, I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top." And it's just the funniest thing, and it just reminds me of this now. But you're right, if you lose your integrity into either side and you start to please everyone, then you're going to please no one. And it's just, this happens in films a lot. It happens a lot, more so more recently. I know, Claire, that you spoke a little bit about the sequels, but you didn't mention something that I really wanted to touch upon, because it's got a little mention for something that we've spoken about recently. So there was another film as part of the series that was developed by, I believe it's the author's grandson, titled Vanished - Left Behind: Next Generation. Which was released. So they said the film was intended to be kind of like at the beginning of a new contemporary film series, drawing inspiration from the Twilight Saga, being marketed for younger audiences. A WA version, not WA, YA. I don't know why. Oh, my brain is just mush. a YA version of Left Behind. I don't know if you read anything about that film, or you managed to.
I didn't read anything more than just that, but it did lead me to question, like, wait, I thought all the kids, because the plot of the film is a teenager and her younger sibling are left to fend for themselves after the rapture, and then they team up with some other teenagers and try and like live their lives. But I was like, wait, but I thought all the kids were raptured, and I was like, what's the cut-off point between you're a kid and you can't be evil, and you're old enough now, you can be evil, you have to stay? What's the cut-off?
Maybe they explore that, because that's basically, apparently the film pulls plot points from one of the spin-off book series called Left Behind, the kids. I just love these names. These names are...
So maybe that was a choice made in the new film to rapture all the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a...
Interesting. Definitely interesting. So guys,
not interesting enough to make me rewatch.
That would be a fair summary.
what do we think then? I'm kind of intrigued now to hear what everyone's sort of ratings are. You know, do we...
Well, I've got some letterbox
Oh
reviews.
yeah, of
if you
course.
want a
Yeah,
couple of
dive into the letterbox for us.
All right, so I have one from Dawson Joyce, who gave it 0.5 star. Left Behind is not only religious pandering at its finest, but also one of the most ineptly crafted, brutally boring, and atrocious films I've ever had the displeasure of sitting through, with terrible performances, even from Nicolas Cage, who clearly tries hard but looks like he's in pain when trying to spew out his god-awful dialogue, horrible writing and editing, poor cinematography and direction, insufferable characters, and horrendous production values.
Why doesn't he tell us what he really thinks?
And then two more, which I just loved, from Ralphie131, who also gave it 0.5 star and said, "How is this not the worst movie of all time?" To which we tell you, Ralphie, it's only the 34th worst movie of all time. There are 33 worse. And 0.5 star from Lisa, who said, "If God doesn't care about these people, then why should I?"
Good one. I realised as well, I just completely skipped over. I had a few letterbox ones as well. So Todd said, quote, "Jordan Sparks, a delight, but not a good actress." Caleb said, "I don't even think John the Apostle could have foreseen the making of Left Behind." And there were actually a few... and I did quote this one from Yawn earlier. There happens exactly one thing in this entire movie, and it is not good. But there were a few like genuine... I mean, I'm still torn whether they're genuine 5-star reviews or whether they are like top level like sarcasm, because they are really long form reviews.
Yeah,
and I'm a bit like,
I couldn't decide.
but I mean, some of the quotes are: "The best plane film I've ever seen. Nicolas Cage is a great film actor. There was lots of explosions, very professional." I mean, I can't argue if the explosions were very professional because I couldn't see them.
I mean, they've stated a lot of facts there, I think. I feel like it's not so much an opinion, it's just a list of, you know,
Cold, hard facts.
true items about the film.
Like in Friends, when they go and see Joey's plays and they're like, "The costumes were great.
We're in a play." This was a film. Nic Cage was in it. There were explosions. Just to summarise. And
Check.
Fearing Bad said, "Can't wait for the Criterion release." So yeah, and also we didn't mention
On
Razzies.
Indiegogo.
So Left Behind was nominated for 3 Razzies at the 35th Golden Raspberry Awards for Worst Picture, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Actor for Nicolas Cage, but it lost in all 3 categories to Saving Christmas. Another one of us.
Is that
It is on our list, but we're saving it for the
great.
festive season.
Can't wait.
And the star of that's Kirk Cameron, who coincidentally starred in the original Left Behind film franchise. We've got ourselves a bottom 100 universe, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Cinematic universe. Okay.
The gift you never asked for.
Yeah. Do we ever ask for them though? Really? The cinematic universes? They're always just
regardless,
you're
you're getting them anyway.
Awesome. Shall we give our ratings? Kira, do you want to go first? Tell us what your rating is of the film, and whether you think it deserves to be on the bottom 100.
Ooh. I mean, having not seen the rest of the 99 films on the bottom 100 list, I'm not in the best informed position to say definitively either or. But I think I would probably give this a very generous 2 stars out of 5. Don't ask me what the logic is behind that. I feel like 2 out of 5 is a good number. And also, going forward, I think I'm going to appreciate a Ryanair flight a lot more, because whatever you say about them, that's never happened.
These people don't disappear and leave their clothes.
Your luggage might join the rapture, but you don't.
It's true. It is true. All right, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go for a two out of 5 as well. Like, I really don't think this was a great film. It was pretty poor. There were some good bits in it, as we've spoken about. There were some so bad it's good moments, but I mean, I would say, yeah, bottom 100 for this because it was a bit crap.
I mean, I think for me, like, regardless of quality, like, a massive thing is like whether I enjoy it. Like,
It's boring.
I did have like an ironically like good time because it was so terrible, like just
Yeah.
ripping the piss
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
So that's probably it. Gets the 2 stars from me probably more because of just how
enjoyment
I
of it.
tore it a new
Yeah.
one. You know,
It's weird though,
I
because I
do-
agree with you, like in the enjoyment aspect, but then I'm also thinking, but it was so boring as well. Like, it
yeah,
was just like a weird mix where it was just
yeah,
overall was just not a very tense or interesting film, but then there was just moments in it where you literally cackle and you like, what the fuck is happening
yeah.
right now?
I'm sorry, what happened to me there? Yeah, it's stirred up mixed
Yeah.
feelings.
What do you think,
I
Claire?
am confused.
I'm torn between 1 and 2, so I'm going to go 1.5,
Go on.
bang in the middle. Because, yeah, I'm genuinely not sure if the writer of this film has ever spoken to living humans, and I don't know if the director has ever lived in the real world. So Chad Michael Murray gets my 1
Yeah.
star for being a beautiful specimen of a man, though I think he's a bit of a douche in real life, so he doesn't, you know,
Oh.
if he is a douche in real life, I'm sorry, maybe he doesn't deserve them. But he was pretty to look at. But yeah, it was boring. It contained some of the worst acting I've
There
ever
was
seen.
no Antichrist.
There was no Antichrist. It was, for all intents and purposes, a bad film, and it wasn't even entertaining in the effort. I don't think it ever, like we talk about, could anything have saved
Yeah.
this? I think the only thing that could have saved this would have been a stronger supporting cast.
Right.
But even then, I think the script and the content of the film is so poor that I don't even know if a better cast
I
could have
was
done
going to
anything
say
with
when
it.
you said that, what could save this? I was going to be like a complete
Meryl
rewrite.
Yeah.
Well, no, but
Meryl Streep. Who would you have cast Meryl Streep as?
I don't know. You just said like, what does it need? And I just thought, Meryl.
she could be the Antichrist.
Yeah,
God,
oh my
imagine.
god.
Miranda Priestley 2.0. The devil wears Prada and she flies on planes.
I would have liked to have seen if Ashley Tisdale hadn't dropped out, her
Yeah,
as
she was
Nicolas
the-
Cage's daughter,
yeah.
but I'm glad for her she
Mm.
dropped out. I don't think she needs
I don't
this.
think it would have helped, given she's from Disney, kind of like for her credentials as an actress. I don't really know what she's done in the last 10 or 15 years.
She's done...
She turned up in Sons of Anarchy. I did recognise her in that,
Really?
and she was she was a hooker in that as well. I was like, somebody grew up. I don't know actually.
She's done some films and she's done some TV, but nothing big. She has some babies. You know, she seems to be living her life and
Yeah, I
you
follow
know,
her on
pottering
Instagram.
along.
She seems happy. She's gorgeous. She's clearly got money. So good for her. Good for you not doing this film, Ashley.
Yeah.
We commend you.
Cool. So I'm guessing we're burning this and not saving it.
Burning it in the flames of the airplane that didn't crash because the film wimped out.
yeah. Didn't have the budget for that, I'm afraid. Cool. So should we talk about some Nicolas Cage films that we do like? Obviously, we like to talk about our top picks based on the theme of the episode. What should we do? Kira, did you want to go before us, or would you like us to go first, and then you can add in some thoughts about perhaps ones that we haven't spoken about?
Yeah, you can go first, and I'll follow suit.
I mean, I'll go first because I'll just put my hands up. I've barely seen any Nicolas Cage films.
So I'm concerned about this too because aside from this, I've only seen 4. So if you
I didn't count how many, but it wasn't far off that. And I'm like, how though? Because I'm so like, I know this man, but yet I've not seen him in anything.
Well, do you want to try and do one at a time, and I'll try and not pick the ones that you've picked and see how far I get?
It's going to be a fun Daisy versus Claire
options.
when we're asking people to vote for their favourite when we're not even sure we like the ones we've picked.
No, in fairness, I do like the ones I picked. The four that I have, I really like.
I do like.
And
I do like the ones I picked, but I didn't have a lot to pick from.
So then there are two that I've seen bits of, but I could not confirm that I've seen the whole movie from start to finish, so I don't feel right
Yeah, fair play.
including them.
Fair play. There we go. There's my catchphrase. Got to have it in there somewhere. Okay, I'll do one. I can do one first. This is one
Okay.
of mine that I knew from the start without even looking through his filmography that I wanted to pick in my top. I haven't done these in any order, by the way. These ones.
Mhm.
I'm going to go for National Treasure. Waving her fist at me. Good family fun. Good family fun. Listen, wild. They try and steal the Declaration of Independence. Like, what a great plot.
Yeah. But it don't seem that wild anymore, though. Does
No,
it?
I
What
mean,
happened
no.
at the start of
Living
the
in
year?
2021, it does not.
Like, I'm not. Is it really that impressive anymore? I don't think so.
Oh, Kira's like, sit down, Nic Cage. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, get back on a plane. Stick to what you know, son.
But at the time growing up, this was just a really fun. This was Jerry Bruckheimer, right? Produced film.
I think so,
He's
yeah.
just that kind of tone with that time period was just very, very fun. And yeah, good supporting cast. What is Justin Bartha? I was about to get his name.
but still my
He could be in
heart.
anything, and I will lap it up.
Have you ever seen the film The Rebound?
Oh God, don't speak to me
no,
about that film.
I haven't.
Okay, I love that film, Kira. So
No. I've just got a story about that
Oh.
film.
Oh.
That still,
We'll save that for after the pod. But it's a rom-com starring Justin Bartha and Catherine Zeta-Jones. There are plenty of people who do not think it's a good film. You can have your own opinions, but Justin Bartha, good lord, he's so dreamy. He's so dreamy.
He definitely brings his dreaminess, but also he's just a fun character in this film as well.
Yeah.
I just think, I just think it's great. It's nice. It's nostalgic. It still holds up for me personally. I think it's a lot of fun. Sean Bean's in it as well. He's great. So yeah, that's my first choice.
It's a great film. I remember seeing it in the cinema. I loved it. I definitely at one point owned it on DVD. I don't know if I still do, but it's on Disney Plus.
It's on
That's
Disney
fine.
Plus.
Right, I'm going to be strategic then.
Like battleships.
Well, I only had 4 options and you just took one. So I'm going to go for Kick-Ass.
Oh no!
Yes.
I only had 3 options and you've chosen my other one. Okay, fine. I'm gonna have to go for. I know what my backup is, but it's Anyway, go on.
I'm pretty sure your backup's going to be the same as my next
For
two.
God's sake, it is, isn't it?
We're a similar ilk. Kick-Ass. It's amazing. He gets to play Batman. Basically, he's great in it. He takes it so seriously. What a
His
dad.
line readings in it are just amazing. The way he's.
It's brilliant. It's a genius film. I love everything about it. The whole cast are great. It's so well directed. The second one's a bit shit. Technically, the second one is a bit shit because of the source material, but I think actually we should just blame it on the fact that Nicolas Cage didn't return.
Yeah,
So,
maybe.
But love Kick-Ass.
My second one was Kick-Ass as well. I rewatched it recently, and it's just again fun. Like it's so explicit, and the violence is just. But Nic Cage is just like he steals the spotlight in that, even away from Chloe Grace Moretz, who's amazing as Hit Girl. Like whenever he's like you say, he gets to be Batman. He has a lot of fun with it. He comes in, he does his stuff, and then he's out. Boom. Yeah, great stuff. My third choice then is something called the Trust. It's very. I would say it's very unknown. I'm allowed to say that because I did the PR for it. But it's a film with him and Elijah Wood, and it's a heist film. I want to rewatch it because I don't remember a ton about it, but I remember being really surprised by how much fun I had with it and how it was just very, very campy in moments. Just knew what it was, and they were there, they were being paid, and they kind of just had fun with it. But yeah, it was one of when I did home end. Some cinema releases, but mainly home end releases in PR back in the beginning of my career. This was one of 2 Nicolas Cage films that I had to do the PR for. This was one we got to do. Oh no, we got screening room for both. But this one I got to bring some guests. My mum and my auntie came along to this screening. I think that they enjoyed it too. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's streaming on anything, but I mean, if you're a Nic Cage fan, and we were saying about sort of like filling in the blanks of filmographies and stuff, give this one a go, because I mean, I had fun with it, and it's got Elijah Wood in as well. So good two leads there. The other film is actually the one that I did PR for. Is actually the one that I said is the worst film that I've ever seen, called Pay the Ghost. So you can see why I had a bit of a tough time picking my favorite Nic Cage films, considering the other one was the worst film I've ever seen. And then I did another one as a review when I used to write for a film website, which was also absolutely terrible, called Army of One. So I didn't really have a lot to choose from. So yeah, let's go with National Treasure, Kick-Ass, and The Trust for me.
Okay, I'm going to go with National Treasure 2.
Oh, you didn't go for the one I thought you were going to go for.
No, I don't know what one you thought I was going to go for. That's my number 3. So I go for National Treasure 2 and Into the Spider-Verse, which feels like a cheat, but it's either Into the Spider-Verse or National Treasure, and I feel like let's be a bit varied and let's not pick National Treasure and National Treasure 2 in my same thing. But National Treasure 2, just as National Treasure 1, was great.
I thought you were going to say just as National Treasury.
It is just as National Treasury. There is treasure, belongs to nations. It was international, this one.
They should have called it International Treasure.
It should have been International Treasure. But yeah, Justin Bartha returns, so teenage Claire and now adult Claire, delighted. Get to meet Nic Cage's mum, even though they made it very clear she was dead in the first film. They go to Paris, they steal lots of stuff. It's a great adventure. They're both great films. And then Into the Spider-Verse is a bit of a cheat, but I've only seen 4 Nicolas Cage films, so that's my option. He is great as Spider-Man Noir. Again, very similar to Kick-Ass. And it's just a fucking awesome film. But I think Nicolas Cage's role in it is equally part of what makes it so brilliant. It would be a different film if Nicolas Cage was not in that role. So it can count.
I'm making it count. Cool. I'm intrigued to see what Kira's choices are.
As I said, he did have some decent films, like during his dark days. And one of them is a film called Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Ooh.
Now, I believe there is some link to a film that Werner Herzog did either back in the 70s or 80s, where Harvey Keitel played the Bad Lieutenant. But the two are very different films. And it has exactly what you'd think Nicolas Cage would bring to a role like that. It's basically this unhinged detective, and, you know, he's got problems going on. He's devoted to the job, but at what cost, right? And yeah, he's got a bit of an addiction to painkillers, which has blossomed into an addiction to other drugs. And yeah, he sees a lot of shit in that film. And Val Kilmer's in it as well, and Eva Mendes, and it is actually, like, it's quality. I think you would enjoy it. It was on, like, Prime or something a little while ago. I don't know if it's still there now. But yeah, I sought that one out back when I had my first sort of Cage awakening. And yeah, it still is like a firm favourite of his films. Around the same time, 2013, so this is like, we're right in the dark days. And he did a film called The Frozen Ground, which is based on a true story of some serial killer who was going around Alaska. Now, it's got quite an average score, but I don't know if that's possibly based more on the fact that it was a true story and people didn't realise how faithful it was, or I don't know what the deal is, but I liked that film. And it was it was quite funny because my friend watched it recently, and she was like, messaging me, she was like, I'm feeling sexually attracted to Nicolas Cage, and I don't know why, and I don't know how I feel about this.
That is a scary time.
And then, oh god, I'm going to move out of 3 films. Oh,
No,
this
do
is
it.
quite, this
Do
quite
it. I want to hear them.
Yeah, because we flopped, so
Yeah,
you can stop Twitter being mad at us.
Yeah, I will carry this list like Nicolas Cage carried Left Behind. So in 2018, this is when we sort of saw, you know, the Cage renaissance. And we had a film called Mandy. And this is like, you know, this is where Nicolas Cage realised what people wanted from him. And he was like, well, you want it, you can fucking have it.
You want it, I'll give it you.
Yeah. You want some? I'll give it you. Right. So that's horrendous. And it's just great. Like, I watched it, and it's really like, I would hate to, I had no alcohol in my system at the time, but I cannot imagine what it would have been like to have watched it after like a few beverages, or if you're into other things. I don't know. Like, if you were just kind of on the same wavelength as that film when you're watching it, like, I can't imagine what the experience would have been like. And it was so far. There's naked people, and there's colours, and there's Nicolas Cage screaming, and he gets hammered, and you see him like properly like losing his mind. And all in the Y fronts as well.
Brilliant.
Like, telling you, he knows what people want to see. And also gives you a little bit on top whether you asked for it or not. And yeah, like, straight away I watched it, and I told one of my mates about it, and then they were like, what the fuck have you just made me watch? But they enjoyed it all the same, even though they didn't know what they'd seen.
There you go.
So that's really good, and that's like really like not ironic love for that. I mean, none of these films, I don't love any of these films ironically. They are genuinely quality, dare I say, cinema. Probably in the very loosest sense. And then obviously I think, just as like an honourable mention, whilst we're on the subject of Nicolas Cage and planes, I think Con Air, like, if you're not really acquainted with Nicolas Cage films, if you're going to start anywhere, you start with Con Air. Like, that is the epitome of Nicolas Cage. Die Hard on a plane, pretty much. It's even got, the horrible, sweaty, dirty, grubby vest as well. Yeah, fantastic film. I rewatched it with my dad recently, and it holds up. And there's so many other great people in it. Like, it's absolutely a 90s bin fire of a film.
That's John Malkovich, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen the first half of it. It got my media studies teacher, as someone who then became a media studies teacher, I now understand why she did it. My media studies teacher just one day put it on for an hour, and that was our lesson. But then we never finished it, and we did say, like, can we not finish it? And she was like, oh no, you can finish it in your own time.
She giveth and she taketh away.
But so I do regret I've never seen the end of it, because I did really enjoy it. I just don't know, like, yeah, that, Face Off, and City of Angels, I've seen at least 50% of all of them, but I can't include any of them because I've never done the whole.
Not ever. I just don't even know how I've not managed to see so many of his films. But I think maybe it's because I think that I've seen loads of his films, so I don't go out of my way to see more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing is the Nicolas Cage aspect, I think, transcends a lot of the films that he's in. Like, not to make the man seem like a mythical beast or anything, you can kind of feel like you've seen a Nicolas Cage film based on what you've heard without even seeing it.
Exactly. Hit the nail on the head there, I think. I do feel like I do want to watch loads more, though. I've just looked at his filmography on Letterboxd, and I've just clicked to see how much is streaming. 39 of his films are streaming, so I mean, you've got yourselves a day and a half there. But yeah, no, I feel like I need to delve into more. I don't know if there's any more of his on the bottom 100 though.
I believe he appears 3 times.
Oh, that's not too bad for someone like Nicolas Cage, considering, a lot of people do not like his certain things of his films.
The most, from what I remember when I did it, when we launched, this might be wrong or it might have changed. Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, and Nic Cage, all of them appear 3 times in the list each. So they are our unholy trinity.
Oh my god.
We've done Lindsay, we've done Nick, so we need to do a Paris Hilton film.
We do. I mean, I needed like a hole in the head, but
a hottie and the naughty.
Oh dear, yeah. Maybe I'll go on a bit of a Nic Cage-a-thon at some point. I really do want to see Mandy, and I know that I need to see Con Air because
we should, before we do our next Nic Cage film, we should put aside some time and try and watch some new Nic Cage films so that we can do our second round of Nic Cage.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. So I think that wraps it up from for this episode. There we go. But obviously, we really want to hear everyone's thoughts about the film, about what they thought about the episode, and of course, what they think about Nic Cage himself. Do you also think this film deserves a place on the bottom 100 if you have seen it, or are there some fans out there of Left Behind? Would love to know. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at wratedpod and on Letterboxd at wrated. Kira, can you tell us where we can find you on socials, and if you have anything you want to share with the listeners at all that we can check out?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at KiraC_98. It's the same on Instagram as well, but the underscore comes before the C, and I always forget this, and this is why it confuses me. I'm just here. I'm living life, Post some of the photos I take, post some of the pictures I draw, just talk about some of the things that happen in my otherwise very mundane life. And yeah, I occasionally write on my website, Cinematique, and you can find that on the internet because it's a website. On Twitter as well, Cinematique_UK, because Cinematique was already taken when I signed it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Bastard.
And Claire, where can we find you?
You can find me at Claire Ellen Hope, Claire without an I, on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. So thank you everyone for listening. We really appreciate you guys interacting with us on social and tuning in, whether that's whatever films that you fancy watching or you've seen before. And I know a few people have been really big fans and been listening every week. So we really appreciate that. If you haven't already, give us a follow or a subscribe. And if you are so inclined, a lovely rating and a review. We'd love to hear what you think. And then you can join us next episode where we'll be diving into another film on the bottom 100. Thanks for listening. Bye.